Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on leechess.org and I'm playing now a 3-2 game. How about, I don't know. Let's start with G3. Let's see what kind of variety we'll get starting out a game like this. All right, let's take it into a King's Indian attack land. All right, well, they're taking measures at a very early stage to combat my light square bishop. Considering knight c3. Could be pushed around. But maybe I'm okay with that. If that structure changes like this, okay, well, scratch that. I'd be fine with underdeveloping, and let's get this move in. If now d4, I'll go to e2. I like getting this e4 move in with the knight on c3. So let's see what they do about this pressure here. All right, let's hunt down their light square bishop. Got him. Ready to win a pawn now, so let's see what they do about that. They're just reinforcing. So let's back up my queen, doing this to get my f-pawn contributing. They have good harmony between their pawn structure and the remaining bishop. I'd really like to break down their light squares. Let's start off with this. I want to be able to move my f-pawn. Queen b6 pinned my f-pawn. So f4, let's do it. Let's be consistent. Can't play bishop e3 just yet. So I end up in a fork. Okay. That weakens this square that they've been focusing on. They just gave it up. Played these moves to reinforce d5, and now they no longer have a pawn on d5, and they have a gap on c4. This is a move. But I don't know that I want to give up this square so easily. I'd be fine if this happens, so let's just get more pieces involved. If they play this, I'll get the f-file to work with, so. Also, knight c4. Maybe then I start to eye up e5 a bit more, because I have this jumping point on d6. We'll see. I like the flexibility I have. All right. I don't want to commit my knight just yet. Let's just prevent b5. I may do this at some point. Yeah, actually, I think I will. Knight here, bishop d2, maybe the other rook here. G4, g5. Let's try this. Yeah, this move before here. So now I'm threatening here and then a jump. Possibly. Okay, they're going straight in for that. Something seems way off with that. How about I actually bypass this pawn and play f5? Pawn takes, knight takes. I could play bishop f5, but knight d7 seems to be holding everything. Let's go here. Wow. What's that move about? Well, let's make sure g5 doesn't happen. Let's open it up here. And I have the bishop pair. Let's open it up some more. I was thinking about c3, but let's do this. My bishop needs to work. This is my X-factor bishop. Let's get him playing. Yeah, let's go here. Can't really jump in here. Queen's boxing out my knight. I could maybe look to soften up this pawn with h5 at some stage. Could take this knight out. Just double up. Or do this one precautionary move. Let's just get a quick move in. to keep an eye on that clock. Let's double now. They could slowly try to dislodge my knight position with b6, a6, and then b5, so I'll have to come up with something. Maybe this is the way forward. g5, g4. Okay, that move did not fear me. I didn't fear that because of a5. I have this under control, so now they can't dislodge my knight position, and now that the knight has moved, now I do this. Because I get that f5 square for bishop, for rook. So this is definitely good for Team White. Broken down their light squares. Pretty sure the computer is not a fan of that move because I do get this break in. And he's having a tough day, the bishop on g7. How could I really take advantage of this fact that f5 is basically already a hole? Under 40. I'm ready to just lure their king out further, so... They're going to consider g5? I guess so. Just bishop check, bishop here. Something better? I'd really like to get a knight here. What about this? Let me... A knight on this square? I could take twice. An f8. My knight feels like he's just out of play in a way on c4. I think this will be a better square. And if he's ever taken, I could take and have a passed pawn and then maybe operate on the light squares. Let's throw this check in. Just make a quick move. I don't know if I want to go in here right away. I kind of don't want all major pieces exchanged. It's going to look a little funny, but I'm going to do that. Maybe queen here. I think this is fine. Okay. Let's hit the queen first. And let's do this, actually. This should be fine. Get a passed pawn, put my queen on e4. Their knight is boxed out. Okay. Queen here really soon. Let's play over here. I want to guard this square. They're going to grab that pawn with check. Could I really do this move and get away with it? I could also just lose because of this stuff. Oh, man. Why'd I allow this? Everything's getting mopped up now. No good. Now I gotta go into a pin. Knight f3. I gotta defend like this. Wow. Might be able to hold this, actually. I get that pawn now. They should have played bishop f6. Okay. He's got to stay on that pawn. Kind of boxed out. Don't know what to do. Now they just come over. That works. Yeah, I can't stop. They just push through. Oh, missed opportunity. They're just queening. Let me resign. Man. I had a good position. How could I have better taken advantage of that? They hunted down my D pawn for one, which was no good. I mean, good for them, but yeah, clearly it can't just be dropping my D pawn, and when it does drop, it hits with check. Maybe I should first prevent this move. Maintain my queen position. Yeah, because this exchange, now my bishop is off this square, so g5, queen here, knight here. I'm just allowing them to move forward in my position and do so with tempo. g4 throws a punch, knight g5 throws a punch. And now I'm dropping a pawn, moving forward again, dropping material now, and it's just collapsing. It's just a domino effect from there. So I need to stabilize my position here with something like g4. This pawn's going nowhere. This knight is under control. And yeah, just go from there. g4, queen here, and my queen never gets dislodged. This side is under control. Okay. Let's go through it. Let's see the opening. Happy with obtaining the bishop pair very early on. I don't think that this is a problem. Let me just put it right on. Knight c3 is fine with this e4 idea, and they replied pretty quick to my knight c3 move. But I was going to say, if this, I was content with underdeveloping my knight. I had in mind this move. Is there anything wrong with that? No, not really. Just have this in mind, and now this diagonal is a bit more opened if they don't have that pawn on d. And I think in the end, I know I'm wasting time underdeveloping, but they're going to have to move this pawn again, I believe at least, to kind of play on the queen side where they now have a space advantage. Okay, they didn't play d4. I got an e4. Acquire the bishop pair. And yeah, it's just a slow building up type position right here. f4, no issues here. Doesn't really like d4. Now it does. And I'm fine with this. Yeah, I'm happy to see this. I know it underdevelops, but things are still closed. Time is not that big of an issue. I have the time to get the pieces back into play, back into a good square. Knight c4. Yeah. What does it want to do on this e5 move? This is where I played f5. It's telling me to hold my ground, not commit. Don't capture, don't push, but still maintain the tension. Okay, this is another option. Not show your hand so quick. On takes, now I could be taking with the bishop, and then maybe pushing. Yeah, this would be really strong. If I'm able to get here, and black isn't able to reinforce e5 with the piece, if I'm taking right now, this is what I was pointing out in the game, if I'm doing this, they have, well, I thought this move, which is a move, but even this one, I guess, as well. And the bishop is there to defend. So I could play queen f2, no fear on this capture because of this. And they want to already give up the exchange. Why is that the case? Because of knight d6, I imagine? or something like this. Maybe even this is an idea now, since I control f8. Crashing through on f7, +4. Wow. Rook here, push. Oh yeah, that's a problem. If the queen is going somewhere else, the knight's going to land on d6. Knight d6, even a push, and the knight can't make use of this square. Okay, anyhow, short story, maintain the tension is another move I could have considered here. Instead of pushing with f5, I went h6. I want to make sure the f file was open, get my light square bishop working now. Yep, slight pull here, close to a pawn, and they should have taken a slower approach here if they're really wanting to get rid of my knight. The way to go about that is with first b6, making a dummy move, a6, and then finally b5. It comes at a snail's pace, but if you want to kick the knight, you have to do it in that way. How they played it with a6, it allows the clamping down a5, and now he's cemented in there. But what did I really end up doing with them? Not a lot. Did good to acquire good positions for my pieces, but yeah, that's maybe about it. Creating a good environment for my pieces, but not executing these positional advantages as well as I could. So they went with the knight retreat. I thought there would be some shift with that knight retreat because of this move, although it's pointing out a capture, another capture, and then what? Okay, and then h5. So just swapping both rooks first and then playing h5. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of that because I have my rooks doubled, and I think it'll take more time for black to contest the f-file. You know, I'll wait for them to capture, I'll recapture, and they're going to have to come over anyway. There isn't another relevant file to operate on. So I don't think there's anything wrong with immediate h5. There isn't. You know, with g5, I probably spent too much time right around here because there's just so many interesting possibilities. Do you put a bishop on f5 and then sneak into g6? I don't know, the knight could control there. I guess with one open file like this, the rooks will be exchanged. Both rooks will be exchanged most likely. Could I have done anything on the queen side earlier? I don't know. What do I go for? I look to reposition my knight into the d4 square. What does it want to do now? Let me just look at this a little bit more. It just wants to slowly sneak in here. Oh, you know what I could do? I could look to pinpoint these guys. Something like this. This pawn fixes these two. I could have considered this as a plan. Bishop to c8. Yeah. Okay. Didn't consider that in the game. I like to reposition the knight. It's at 2.5. Ah, knight d7. That's going to be a trouble. Big trouble for black. Hitting the rook, hitting c5. Knight d7. Suppose they take back, and I guess at the very least I could grab that pawn. Pac-Man mode? I didn't see this knight d7 move. It's too focused on this square. Threw in a check. This was almost like a passing move. b3. It's calling for knight d7 again. Still holding an advantage. +2. It still wants knight d7. I just didn't see it. Bishop f7. Queen here. Yeah. Not too upset with how I played up to here. And this is where I went astray. Wants to push, and it can't be taken because of queen here. But this should be fine as well, no? Yeah. This is just a rock-solid approach. Basically kills the bishop. There's no hope for him to activate on any of these three squares or even this one, so he's pretty much a dead bishop. You know, he can never really see any dark squares on my side of the board. If he's not getting through any of these squares, any of these four squares, he's a dead piece. Yeah, I should have played g4. I went with b4, looking to open up the other wing. And now it's tricky. Still had something right around here after knight there. I think I was considering this move, but yeah, I had this fear of them targeting my bishop. But I have knight takes pawn. And then I could even think about a knight check here. Knight takes queen, I take their queen. Yeah, I had to really be accurate here, and I clearly wasn't. It's still only a slight pull for black with this variation. Not anymore. Yeah, tough to know what the correct square is for your king at this point. And now it's just beat, is it not? It's only holding it as even. Oh, I have a perpetual. That's why they thought as much as they did. That's why they thought as much as they did in the game. I'm seeing it now. When I played this move, I thought, why don't you just play this right away? They thought, I don't know for how long it was. I guess you could check it out with the time here, the move times. How much time was spent? They spent 10 seconds on knight to f3. And in that time, I was just wondering, why is this not played sooner? It's because I could just get away with the perpetual check. And I need to do that, because from here it's lost. Trying to defend here. This was my last chance to save a draw, perpetual. Check, check. Well, is it really? Queen here? No. You have to give a check here. And if the king is coming over here, check there. To be pretty accurate here with the queen, I'd say. This one isn't too bad, but yeah, I really had to go in for that. Queen here, crawling up into a ball defending. It's not really working out. I think they could have actually hung on to that pawn, maybe. I think how they played it was fine, though. They improved their king position really well. And this pawn push, I can't take because I'll drop my knight. And I'm just struggling to find a move. I can't move forward. The bishop's boxing out my knight. I'm just in big trouble here. Can't win. Okay, well, not sure what to say on this one. I liked how I liked the positional, how I played it positionally, but didn't convert, didn't execute well when I had these good squares for my pieces. And my opponent did well to come back there at the end, start throwing punches at me, and yeah, dislodged my strong post here with my queen, and it just crumbles from here. Dominoes. Ouch. Okay, well, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video in the comments section below, and I hope you got something out of it. That's all for now. Take care.